at it again, man. I am so excited. It's in-game live right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, France, Group I. And the I stands for goals. Just deal with it. That's just what we've seen on the first time go around here. France, Norway, Senegal, and of course now France looking to match that against Iraq, who Norway really lit up here. But I'm out on a limb here, Gabe. I'm on under 3.5 in this game at plus 112. How are you betting what I think is a bit of a tricky matchup?
We're attacking this game, and every time you wonder how are the Stars going to live up to the hype, they find a way to do it. So now it's Mbappe's turn this evening. Although I will say, I don't know if France are taking this for granted, but there's a lot of talk about everybody's going to touch the ball tonight. Everybody's going to play tonight because they play Norway next. This is sort of they want to get everybody involved. So there's no guarantee. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Mbappe, if they're up, he gets out of the game, in the 65th minute type of deal. But I attack this. Nothing, what? Actually, I was going to say nothing too cute, Kevin, but I actually do have a couple of cheeky plays here. France-Norway parlay. Pretty simple. All right, France-Norway parlay is plus 145. Pretty nice price right there. France minus 1.5 and Erling Haaland to score the first goal of the game, Kevin. So France 1.5 and Erling Haaland to score the first goal of the game is plus 410. It's a nice little payday right there. This is what I just threw out there, guys. I just put this in at the last second. I thought, why not just play them both to score the first goal of the game? It's like 13-1, dude. Mbappe to score the first goal of the game and Erling Haaland to score the first goal of the game. And then in a simple play, Mbappe to score the first goal of the game, plus 250. Mbappe and Haaland both to score, plus 188. So we're getting plus money. I found ways of plus money here. This one's minus money. Iraq to get the most cards, minus 188. So Iraq to get the most cards in this game. And here's a new one that we've added to the rotation, Kevin. France over 67.5% ball possession.
Whoa! Wow! You know what? I think there's a couple of games I could have used that market.
I tell you what, it's an interesting market, right? Listen, France only had the ball 54% of the time, actually, against Senegal, right? But Senegal are a lot quicker than Iraq are. Senegal are more aggressive, and Iraq aren't going to have the ball as much. Now, 67.5% is a significant number, right? It was plus 108 at closing time, but interesting prop, Kevin, and I've got possession stats for the upcoming games as well. So we have like I said, I'm always evolving, looking for new tricks, new props to bet.
So, hey, listen, I don't blame you. The World Cup, I think, has been good to the both of us. Sunday took a turn. Belgium just let me down. I didn't even bet Belgium. I was just betting the over in that game, 1.5, 2.5, and that really messed some things up for me. And then got off to a bad foot today. Good calls by you on Argentina and the under. It's funny. I'm on this team to win the tournament. It looks great, but I keep getting their games wrong. First game, I'm like, it's an under. Messi lights it up. Second game, I'm like, there's goals here. Messi still lights it up, but just not enough. So it's been interesting. I'm hoping to bounce back, but something you gave out makes me feel good about another plus money chance I took. I'm starting this game off with just 2 picks. The under, I took over 2.5 cards at plus money. I actually thought that was worth it here, Gabe, because I think Iraq are just going to sit back, defend. And that can lead to more fouls, which of course can lead to more cards, and maybe even a frustrated French side here. The fact that you're betting Iraq for the most cards kind of tells me, all right, that's, at least 2 maybe. And then I'm looking for 1 more. So I'm on the over cards to start this game.
You know what? I'm going to go under cards here, even though I think Iraq get more cards. These cards are significant moving forward. I don't think anybody on France, put it this way, I'm not sure France are ever going to be in a spot where they have to take a card. Is there ever going to be sort of a situation where they have to tackle someone? I guess a random freak thing can happen. But I'm glad you brought this up, and I got to be honest with you. The 2.5s always freak me out, right? They're kind of getting to 3 now.
That was another reason I played it. I played it, Gabe. I wouldn't have played 3.5.
Yeah, if you dangle a 3.5 at me, I mean, but look, they put a 4.5 up on the board the other day in which one was it? It was a classic game. It was Paraguay against someone else, and it was funny stuff. Yeah, it was Paraguay Turkey. Yeah, there were like 8 cards, 9 cards. Like everything was a card. It was justifiable. It was one of those type of deals. But this is the first ever time, guys, that it's an all Canadian officiating crew. The referee is Canadian. The linesmen are Canadian. It was like a last second thing. I didn't know this. I don't know like every crew, like what nationality, hours in advance all the time. But watching the coverage, they said, yeah, it's not just Team Canada, and there's referees too. And they're like it's an all Canadian crew. First thing I thought of, Kevin, was Canadian crew's going to let stuff go. There'll be less. And also, this is his first, he's making a name for himself here, right? World Cup game. Don't want to get in the way. And it's funny because, you got to pay attention to everything when you can, guys. That's why I watch shows and listen to smart people when they talk, is that the analyst that I was watching, Kevin, said, I actually had him on my podcast the day it was announced he was going to do the World Cup. And I asked him how he felt about it. He goes, I just don't want anyone to know me. I want to stay out of the way, and I hope no one knows me, because if someone knows what you look like, you're not doing a good job if you're the ref. When I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy's going to stay out of the way today. He's going to stay out of the way today. Now, without being stated, someone on a rack just clipped Mbappe pretty good.
I mean, that's a card right there. So, it's a card right there. Here's the thing. The camera stayed off him. That wasn't his fault. Good officiating. That's a card right there.
There's one card in. There's one card in.
I mean, sensational.
That was a classic.
Cards harder.
Yeah, I know. There's one right there. Well, now he's taking down the box, but no, the ref says play on. That was one of those, Kevin. That was like a pass interference call when a wide receiver just burnt the dude. He's like, no. Like, you saw Mbappe was flying past him. He just stuck his leg out and tripped him, basically.
Yep. He's like, we can just do 15 yards. You know what would be interesting, Gabe? And I like, now maybe you can tell me like everyone can and it's nothing to worry about, but I wonder how many of the Canadian officials are from Montreal and how many of them can fluently respond to the Frenchman. I'm serious.
That's a good point. You know what? That's a very good point. The French players will speak French to them, and they will all understand.
Like, I do wonder, do a couple of guys think they can get away with it?
If you're
say something bad, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Like I've seen that before in baseball. I'm not going to name names, but there was a black player once that got mad at a black ump. And he said, what do you think? Because we're brothers, I'm going to give you the call.
Wow.
It's true. Sort of to say, it was like, the players sort of had to, we should stick together type of thing, like going, right? So, it'll be funny. Like, put it this way, Kevin, like, if I'm on a rack, I'm not a full fan of, like, seeing the guys on France talk to the refs because I got no idea what they're saying.
Right.
Because they're talking French, and for the record, English is the universal language in these games, right? So, like, they speak English because it's like, all right, the refs aren't going to be able to speak Farsi here and Iraqi and stuff for an Arabic.
Yeah.
They're going to bust out, all right, we're going to explain it to you in Arabic now. We're going to explain it to you in real language. That's my favorite part of the World Cup, guys, is the referees try to explain some of the calls, and players on both teams have no idea. Remember you and I with France? They were clapping. They were like, yeah.
They were positive.
Kick. And then after, they're like, what do you mean? Like, we don't like, they were like, we didn't understand what you said. They called them over. They were like, explain what you said. Too fun. Like, I love this World Cup for that.
It's been a blast. We're off.
There really are language barriers.
All right, guys, back at the right here on SportsGrid in-game live. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, France, Iraq, 11 scoreless minutes have been played so far. We are with you for the length of this game up until 7 p.m. Eastern time. At the half of not only will we go through some bets, but I think we can go through just some of the projected matchups here. Listen, be careful with some of the, if things ended like this, who cares? Let's just go off projections. The U.S. are not playing Ecuador. They're likely playing Bosnia, right? There's a lot of different things out there. Germany and France are probably going to meet. There's a lot of different things on the line. But also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, aside from my own bets, Gabe, the Lionel Messi start to this tournament. The first career World Cup hat trick, ties the World Cup record, comes out today, misses a penalty. All of a sudden, his World Cup bugaboo is back, if you will. It's like the one aspect of the World Cup that doesn't go his way are these penalties, and then doesn't matter. He scores a goal in that opening half to claim the record. He puts another one in late to add on top of it. And Argentina, through 2 games, have 5 goals. They all belong to Leo Messi. What is your takeaway from what we've seen from him to start this tournament?
My takeaway is, like a lot of things, I'm skeptical at first. So let's say like 10 years ago, put it this way. There was a time, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but there was a time when I was like, listen, Ronaldo scored bigger goals than this guy has, right? He hasn't won, he hasn't done it yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, people are almost like Messi. I'm like, well, I don't see Argentina winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. And I sort of I knew he was great, but now, and also the GOAT stuff all the time, right? Everyone's the greatest of all time, right? I mean, I saw, there was a poll question. Have you seen the last 4 World Cups? That meant something, Kevin. I've seen the last 11 World Cups. How's that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? People live in this, oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. He did it. First goal of the game.
Oh, boy. Yeah, once again, Gabe, well ahead of me, because I just saw a decent chance, and it didn't even matter. Now, see, we're going to have to talk about that. I would like to just watch the goal myself. Not that I doubt it's going to happen. Oh, it's a beautiful one as well. Out of this world, dude. You have to be kidding me. This is insane.
I forgot. Sorry. I forgot, Kevin. At this time of the day, I need to go to the other end of the hall, to the remedial part of the hallway of the school. Got to switch over to Fox. I got to switch over to Fox and slow it down. Thank God I don't need to hear Alexi Lawless. Did he show up for work today? Because this guy's getting murdered, bro. The Guardian, lit him up so hard last night in England. Not even funny anymore. But, dear God, Kevin, what do we open up the show with? When I said, how, do you top it? You don't think Mbappe, and I know this. Like I said, I soaked this stuff up all day. It was you don't think Mbappe, said, all right, my turn. You know what? I scored 2 last time. You scored 3. He just does it. He does it again.
Yeah, but
and let's be real, too. These are nicer goals than Messi's. Not taking anything away from Messi. Messi's you know what I mean? He wills his way in here. But look at this beautiful masterpiece, Kevin.
Guys, it's very hard. It's very hard to score goals. It's very hard to score goals.
Not for these guys.
I don't understand what's going on.
We're seeing greatness.
Have to be.
We're seeing this is the. I want to get to this. This is the greatest run of players, and I'm not you. That's my whole point. I'm a Pele guy. This is the greatest run of players at one time in the history of the game. Point blank. I've been around a long time, guys. Brazil were awesome before in the 90s, right? The Ronaldinos, the Ronaldos. There's a bunch of Ronaldos. The original Ronaldo, right? You know what I mean? There's a bunch of them. They were great, but it was sort of one team. Germany used to be good. There hasn't been a collection of players like this at once. With Ronaldo, Mbappe, Ronaldo at the back end, but Messi, Erling Haaland's already scored over 350 career goals. He nearly scores 2 goals a game, Kevin. Teams don't score 2 goals a game in soccer. You said, it's not easy to score. These guys, Messi scored all 5 goals for Argentina. He's 38 years old. It's insane.
I bet Belgium to win the tournament as a long shot because I thought they could score goals.
Belgium couldn't win the MLS. Like,
That's not the point. Gabe, they scored 1 goal as a team. This is insane.
Yeah,
and
no,
also,
get this, but you know what, though? Let me clarify that. The 1 goal that Belgium scored in this tournament was an own goal. A Belgian player hasn't. A Belgian player hasn't scored a goal in over 420 minutes in World Cup play. The last time Belgium scored a legitimate goal in the World Cup, they beat Canada 2-1 in the last World Cup opener. Pretty wild.
That is crazy.
Say, at some point, like we've got to admit, yeah, they're not that good. You know what I mean? They're not that good.
Yeah, I mean,
something else I want to throw at you, because you said something I agree with you in a way. Because I've said the same thing. You know, you look at the brackets, like, yeah, that's not going to stay the same. That team's not going to be like, they're not.
Yeah.
Yet here we are, and we keep on going deeper in, and these teams aren't advancing, Kevin. So in other words, there's going to be a lot of like big name teams, bro, that are playing as third place teams. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like some weird matchups where like, we're in first place, but we got this team. Really? Yeah, they choke. Like somebody's going to get Belgium in the round of 32 type of deal, right? You're going to get stuck with these Portugals and Colombias in the world, stuff like the standings are weird right now. USA is kind of pretty much locked in to play Bosnia. Like that's kind of the way that it's playing out.
Yeah, unless they draw with the crazy thing is if Qatar were to shock Bosnia, that's who the U.S. would play, and people would throw a fit.
Yeah,
you know it. I know it. If the U.S. got to play Qatar, the whole tournament's rigged. Everybody knows that would be the conversation.
We're already going down this road anyways. Qatar done. Canada just like ripped them apart. Like their federation, they're beaten down now. That team, Bosnia will get it done against them. But you know what is crazy, guys? And you see they're not going away. Iran and the USA are on a Sweet 16 collision course.
No, it's in it. I think it's Egypt, Gabe, they're on the collision course with.
No. Like if Iran wins and USA keep winning, they would collide.
We shall see. We'll be right back. All right, back with you right here on SportsGrid. I just want to make this quick point, just quickly with the Mbappe, Messi stuff. If you're a sports book, the worst thing that's ever happened to you is that somehow these guys are all playing on the same day. Because most people don't send out parlays over the course of a couple of days. So you wouldn't have that many Messi and Mbappe parlays if one of them played on a Monday and the other one played on a Thursday. But instead, they're all playing on the same day. The amount of times that they are getting hit by this is remarkable. And that's the other part of this that is mind-blowing to me is the bet. Like, it's never supposed to be that easy, right? And these guys obviously are not, it's not easy, but Gabe,
it's a great point.
It's remarkable, and it's just disastrous for the books.
And that's why I almost was like, how do we not play it? And how do we not double down on it? And it's like almost like multiple times, right? I'm looking right now, and I'm getting scared because I'm like, what did I get in here exactly? You know what I mean? I'm looking here.
I don't blame you at all. Right? You're like, what exactly do I have before this all comes
it's one of these
down?
type of deals. Because the thing is with Mbappe, guys, he was literally nearly minus 300 to score a goal.
Which is insane.
Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, I'm seeing my price minus 275. So I was like, all right, so you got to go with the first goal, like, of the game. What a goal, though. Like, just unbelievable. Well, what a golden boot race. Like, just, I can't even comprehend this. But great point by you, Kevin. And we threw it out there, guys, so we're set up right now. We're set up for the king, the next guy, King Holland. All right? We got the parlay at plus 188, Mbappe and Erling Haaland to score a goal that almost just seems like a gift, just to score a goal in the game. But now we got him to score that first goal of the game, right? That first goal of the game, and that pays a nice robust like plus 1,300. And as Kevin stated, no one's going to like wait 2 days. Like, oh, if Messi's playing on Monday and Mbappe's playing on Wednesday and Erling Haaland's playing on Friday, who's going to put that parlay together? You literally have three of like the all-time greatest, like, you know, amongst goal scorers. Like, put it this way. You have Messi, who just broke the record, 18 goals in the World Cup. And Mbappe's at 15 right now, Kevin. He came in tonight with 14. Think about that. Mbappe could break Messi's record in this tournament. Like, we're seeing history in the making.
But just to add to that point, the next day Ronaldo played, didn't score. That didn't save the books that much. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, he wasn't on a lot of those slips.
Because people weren't as like, some sharper people were like, nah, he's not that anymore.
Exactly.
Harry Kane is that. So Kane is the other one that people will jump on. But great point by you. What a nightmare for the books. Messi, Mbappe, and Erling Haaland playing back to back to back as if people aren't going to roll parlays together.
Exactly, 100%. And just like, and you're just sitting there, and everything as a gambler says, oh, something's going to go wrong.
And how about this, Kevin? Both,
and it's they just score first.
Both first goals. So plus 300 Messi, Mbappe just did it. Like, dear God, whoever did the 3 goals. I only did 2.
They all scored the first goal in the first match. So you're telling me that we might get these guys go 2 for 2 on first goal in every game, 2 goals in every game? That makes sense.
We should be getting rich right now. That's what I'm telling you. I should be able to afford
these
World
I'm sitting
Cup
here with like under 3.5 over cards, thinking I'm like really like, what am I bothering for?
Well, that's the thing. You know, that's why I sort of look at this. I'm like, because you look at this game and it's like, man, this is a tough game to bet. What are you going to do? They're minus 1,100, minus 1,300. Yeah. Like, how do you approach this? Then I started to just look. I'm like, goals. All right, the stars. And it was all sort of plus money. Even France, minus 1.5. France, like, straight up with Norway. And I do think Norway will get it done tonight. But, you know, just spectacular stuff, how these stars have lived up to it. And to put in context, guys, Messi was plus 1,600, Kevin, to win the Golden Boot coming into the tournament. So he's got 5 now. Mbappe's up to 3 only. Erling Haaland.
Only. No, it's incredible. Yep, you're right.
Erling Haaland only got 2 goals in his first game. My boy Jonathan David has 3. He's 33 to 1 right now. They're not anticipating more outbursts from him. But you talked about it, the Argentina number to win the tournament and the Messi number to win but even everybody said, oh, no, Lautaro Martinez. Like, or, you know what I mean? He's the guy that will score more goals than Messi.
Or Alvarez coming off the bench. Whatever.
Messi
was supposed to be hurt. People are like, I don't know how much Messi's going to play in some of these games. Like, I would be like, and he looks the best he ever has at a World Cup, to be very clear. Like, he kind of came on at the last World Cup, right, Gabe? As you've always told people, they lost that opening match. This is the best World Cup of his life. And he's already won a World Cup.
He's getting better as he gets older somehow.
All right, live on SportsGrid, just quickly in game here. Look, I don't think there's a soul alive who's looking to bet, double chance Iraq in this game. If you really wanted to get crazy,
Yeah, an Mbappe prop here, Kevin. You caught me off guard.
No, that's my point, though, Gabe. Right? Is
I
France or minus 6,000 to win the game? It's only 1-0, and it doesn't matter. Like, nobody really cares. As far as a spread goes, if
Iraq
people
just want they just want a corner kick.
2.5, 3.5. Total right now, Gabe, is 3.5 minus 123 to the under. I actually, as somebody on the under, am a little surprised by that. France can score in bunches. Is anybody surprised that France score again before the half? Like, I'm not mad, obviously, but I'm a little surprised.
I'm going to say the final score, and I left this on the table yesterday, actually, with a 4-0. When I was out with Ranieri, actually, he asked me, what do I think the score? He goes, what do you think the exact score will be, Gabe? I said 4-0. He's like, good, plus 650. All right. And, and then boom. There was a goal, though, that made it 5. There was a goal that made it 5, and then it was disallowed. The thing is, there'll be late goal. Put it this way, guys. You figure France buries another one before the half? Like, I guess that's the question. You think France score again? I think they will. I think they'll score before the first half is over.
Yeah, I kind of do too, and I'm a little surprised again at the price. Like, I'm seeing a minus 107 just for there to be a goal in the half. For France to score again is plus 108.
You are right, though, that I'm a little bit surprised, too, that they didn't move to the 4.5 and think, you know what, this could get out of hand. France
did for a second, but they didn't stay long.
Thing is, Iraq aren't going to score. I don't think Iraq are going to score.
I agree.
Right? So it's sort of like, you and I talk about the betting the Otani totals. You kind of, it's one team so it's like, all right, so are France going to get to 4? I don't think they get to 5, but I think they could get to 4.
Yeah.
I think 3-0, they'd sort of be happy. But you see, Kevin, I've often said, like, I've been wrong, where we've been live on the show here, and I've said, yeah, you know what? They'll be happy once they get up 3-4-0. And these teams just keep going for the jugular, and they score late goals. Right? And
well,
now
this
you got, like,
idea...
this golden boot stuff, and you don't think Dembele wants one or Elise wants one, too, as we go on? It can't just be Mbappe all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think that point you made early in the show about how they're going to try and get everybody out there, like, if you're coming in for 20 minutes, you're going to try with your life to go grab a goal, right?
Yeah, but right now, though, they're only up 1-0, so they can't start thinking about feelings right now. They got to get a couple of more goals.
Said? I think they were asking him about tactics. He goes, I'd love to play 3 keepers if they'd let me. But that was one of the reasons I was on the under, right, Gabe? Is I feel like he's like a 2-0. I feel like he celebrates Kevin, that almost, right?
Mbappe still would have scored with 3 goalies, I think, with that
Honestly,
shot.
I don't think you're wrong. But I'd like my under a lot better if they had 3 goalies, I think.
I do have a same game parlay with France here. What did I do? I had 100% boost on it. I put it together like in a rush right before. But I was like, 100%. I got to get it on this. What did I do? France to win the game. Both teams to score no. France to have the most corner kicks and under 4.5 goals.
Oh, okay. So you were seeing not this like 8-0 thing right. Okay.
No. Look, Norway beat them 3-1 and got away from them a little bit. You and I talked about it. I don't know if you recall, but Iraq played Spain in their final tune-up before this. 1-1 final score.
Yep.
Like, they don't suck. I know that people are surprised that Iran and, like, Iraq, these teams are good at soccer, guys. Like,
look at this time wasting. I know you're ahead of me, but, like, the Iraq goalkeeper just basically, when they roll the ball up the court in the NBA, Gabe?
Yeah.
Right? They basically just did the soccer version of that, except they're losing the game. Like, think about that.
Goal differential matters to them, too. That's something to think about, too. They don't want to get lit up too much. One thing I'll say, though, they have, like, they have modernized soccer / football a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like, I'd never seen before. Like, in the old, like, the new thing, you see, like, the goalie was taking too long to do the goal kick, and they awarded a corner kick.
Yeah.
I never saw that before. Like, there's these new, like, hurry-up rules. The other one about, and I was going to say, like, remember when I talked about, I said it's pretty impressive, actually. We haven't seen a lot of, like, guys faking injuries. You really can't. If you stay down for longer than, like, 10 seconds, you got to leave. Like, basically, like, the ref comes over and gives you the threat. You either get up or you got to leave the game. And suddenly guys get up,
It is kind of funny that this sport has existed one way forever. They put this rule in. Turns out guys aren't that hurt. It is pretty funny. Like,
there was a guy in Austria today, I don't know if you recall. Argentina, he lost the ball. He went down hard. He rolled around like he was dead. And Argentina, like, were buzzing around the box after. And he clued in that nobody cared. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody, no one was buying it, buddy. You can roll around all you want. No one's stopping the play. Suddenly popped up, Kevin, and ran right back into the play.
Yep.
Or how about last night? It was a classic. Buddy on Cape Verde got hurt. You saw he was down, and the play was going on, and the guy on Uruguay kind of like said, yeah, sorry for tackling you there. But the play was going on. And Buddy, like, had a groin issue, Kevin. So the guy on, like, Cape Verde stuck his leg up in the air, and Buddy on Uruguay actually helped him and started, like, massaging his leg. Okay? So he started, like, and they're kind of talking. He's like, yeah, sorry. You can see they're getting along. He's like, sorry about that. He goes, let me help you. He goes, sort of, like, hitting his leg to get his leg going. And then play is going on around him, Kevin, and he sees, and he just leaves the guy's leg dry. And boom, he turns around. They run, and that's when they scored. And Cape Verde were pissed. There's a new thing, right? You're supposed to, if somebody on the other team is lying around and doing that, the so-called, by the code of ethics, the book says you kick the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
But this is the World Cup, and teams aren't kicking the ball out of bounds.
No. I still think my favorite, Gabe, and you talked about it a bunch, was the Paraguay keeper who was like, I rolled my ankle. The ref was like, no, you didn't. And then he kept limping all game, like whenever he could. Like whenever he had a free, like he was fine during any play, but any moment he'd like limp to the goal kick just to take a couple extra seconds.
Don't forget, he went down
guy
a couple other times, and remember he was just sitting on his ass, like bitching at the ref. Come on, hey, look at it. It's like he did it like 5 times. Oh, Paraguay? I'd pay money to watch Paraguay. Like just and not because they're good, because of their facial expressions, their acting ways. Like it really is funny. Like it's fun. Like some people cringe at this stuff, but like the South Americans, like the Argentinian today too, dude. Guy in Austria like ran past him, Kevin. One guy on Argentina went down like WWE style. Like he sold it hard. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, he went down. He sort of looked around. No one cares. I'm gonna get up. All right.
Every time I wonder, I'm like, if I just like got stepped on, would I scream? Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Little danger, but Iraq clears the ball.
All right.
It's starting to come down in Philadelphia. Hey, look at this. Raining pretty hard, Kevin. You know what? This is the home of your Eagles where we're playing here.
Yeah. There was a lot of worry about the weather, Gabe. They were even talking about the
lightning,
potential for like delays. Yeah, which was a little bit worrisome to me just because I don't want to have a delay here. I also admittedly didn't realize that like in the way that there's weather delays in the NFL, I wasn't really like if there's lightning, like there can be. I didn't really know that we had that out here in soccer.
Well, they don't want to get the fans killed, but if you want like the rest of like, I could just imagine people in France if this game was delayed in America, they'd be like so.
Oh yeah,
like it's just the this is what you get for putting it there. You know, I could just
that's where all of a sudden the whole idea of let everywhere in the country get these big games falls apart. It's why the Super Bowl's never coming back to New Jersey. Like, let's just
no,
it's not.
Just put everything in California.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back in the right here on SportsGrid. Man, Mbappe nearly in for a second as we have a monsoon in Philadelphia. I mean, pour it. Like, if there was a baseball game, there would be nobody in the stadium right now. Just downpour.
Pretty hardcore. I like how they play on, right? One thing, too, we talked about this coming into the tournament, though, Kevin, which is an interesting take here. I think they like this better than the hot and the heat.
You know, it's a great take. It's a great take.
They
Gabe.
play an EPL in the wintertime in England. Like, you know what I mean? And I even heard them say that. They're like, oh, I can handle cold, no problem. But I don't like the hot. We don't play in the summer much. I'm sure right now, because it's not cold, it looks bad on TV with the rain. I'm sure there's guys on France right now. They're like, yeah, I wish it wasn't raining so hard, but I don't care about this. Like, this isn't like, take. You know what I mean? But it really is raining hard.
You know what's interesting? Gabe, in the break, like, very easily convinced me this was good for the under. All he said was, this is good for the under. And I went, perfect, because I'm on the under. So he didn't have to say anything other than that. Now, if you're telling me these are their, like, better conditions, they're not going to be hot.
Oh, now I know. No, it's true. I know I gave you both sides. I'm like, well, on the other side, they're used to playing in bad weather. Yeah.
I'm now worried this will open the game up, you know? But here's the thing. I think we all
also,
expect France to score
too,
again, right? Like,
if you're from
that's
Iraq,
not the worry.
If you're from Iraq, you've seen worse than rain. So I don't think these guys are, like, freaked out either. Speaking of which, the best, I love the videos of the World Cup. I can't get enough of this stuff. But my favorite one, Kevin, was the Bosnian fan base walking through blood country in Inglewood. They walked through gangland on the way to Soap.
That was so great. That was really crazy.
Like, did someone tell them, like, guys, like, no, don't do that route. Like, that's not even a route. They walk through the hood. Like,
yeah, I really don't know what happened there.
Like, why didn't someone tell them, listen, we got to march around the stadium. Don't walk through their street. Nothing happened bad or anything, but it was just too funny, man. Like,
yeah, no, that was, you had a great tweet the other day, and you were like, man, I'm really going to miss the World Cup. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself when it's over.
Yeah,
and
so
for someone like yourself
this?
who bets everything and can very easily move on, I do think you will have a few days of like, this is terrible. I don't want to bet this baseball game. Like, leave me alone.
God, I know.
Someone get me a soccer game. Please, like, someone get me a football match. I can't do this.
Well,
I think it's going to hit you hard.
I can't lie. I've already started to take a peek at the Whitecap schedule coming out of this thing. You know, I'm like, all right, let's get a championship before they try to steal the team and move to Vegas. see what happens there. But like you said, let me ask you though. The reason I say the under is just because of the conditions, guys, of the ball, right? The ball suddenly when the field is wet like this, it's just common sense. Like, and it's wet. So the ball slows down, right? So the fast passes and, like, you know what I mean? You got to do stuff through the air more. And then the water sort of affects that a little bit. But, you know, it's not like they're playing in January here at Lambeau, right? It's raining. It's a little wet. Who cares? And you see the rain is slowing down a little bit already. But I do think this is an advantage for Iraq that just slows the pitch down a little bit.
Yeah.
Softens France's skill level if they have the advantage. And we'll see. If you're Iraq, Kevin, you got to be pretty happy getting out of the half with a 1-0 deficit.
Oh, without a doubt. I really do think that for Iraq, they kind of understand their standing. And we've seen these late goals. Hey, listen, 1-0, you'll take it. Let's be honest. If you can miraculously pull a draw out here, and again, I'm not saying I think they will, but they would
Cabo
be over
Verde
the
yesterday.
moon. 100%. So I just think we've got ourselves, again, here it is again, though, with these hilarious guys, it's not possible for 3 minutes stoppage time when you had a goal and a half and a hydration break that's 3 minutes long. Oh. It's just not possible. And it's good for me, and it's just not possible. It's so crazy.
Guys, okay, so like now
I can't stand it.
This is just criminal now.
I can't stand it.
So
it's driving me crazy.
We do a 3 minute water break. They just added 3 minutes. You're telling me nothing happened. Like there was no stoppage at all.
We had a yellow card, by the way. We had a yellow card as well. We had a goal.
We had a goal. And a long celebration, actually, too, because it really was. Because it was such a nice goal. Like, the team ran on the pitch, and Mbappe really soaked it up and did the whole look at me thing. That was like 2-3 minutes on its own, Kevin. Like, you know what I mean?
This is crazy.
He ran into the corner and played to the crowd. The whole team came out. Like,
yeah.
Like, last night it really angered me because I needed one more shot on target in a bet, Kevin, in New Zealand Egypt game last night.
Oh, okay.
Same thing, man. They added 4 minutes, Kevin, at the end of the game. I'm like, it's actually like, I said it's actually 9. I don't know if it's true or not, but I had drunk people and my Rageaholics on Twitter telling me, I've been keeping track. It should have been 13. I said,
well, split the difference.
No kidding. I got a keeper here. That guy's keeping track. We got to speak to American numbers about this. Over the course of 104 matches, there's going to be like 1,000 minutes that were shaved off these games. It's ridiculous.
And I can't stress enough, it doesn't make sense. Why would you not want longer games? Everyone's watching this. Like, that doesn't even make, like, the hydration breaks are to get in their commercials. There's no benefit, though, to having shorter matches. Like, they're not, these things aren't running up against one another. There hasn't been a single second where there's been 2 games on at the same time. I know that'll happen on the last match day, but that's how the sport works. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it at all. I do not get it. And it is what it is, but
people are not happy about it in the real soccer world. People have noticed. People have also the hydration breaks. Although the Uruguayan coach, like, dude, like, you don't have a lot of big legs to stand on because he was in a bad mood, Kevin, after the game last night. Yeah, same thing. Like, he just went off on like the hydration breaks. It's not football, like freaking America and your commercialization. It's not the sport I grew up playing and loved. Like, oh, he went off. The Germans were really, really chirpy about it too. They're like, this World Cup, like, is the most grotesque. Like, they were kind of like offended by the commercialization of it. Like,
interesting.
Welcome to America, Germany.
Yeah.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen, too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys. In-game live, we're back right here on SportsGrid. 1-0 France Iraq at the break. I just wanted to quickly pull up. And look, these things are all from different places. This is the Athletics World Cup bracket forecaster. So there are percentages, and some of them are very close. So, for example, in one slot, it has Colombia as the Group K runner-up at 36%. Portugal are 35%. So some of these things you are splitting hairs. They're not
playing each other. So
correct.
They're playing
and
each
that's
other.
going to vary it out, and that's going to swing things without a shadow of a doubt. There are a couple of things that look like they are kind of coming into play. I will just say,
yeah, go on.
I went through, if favorites held, okay, if favorites held using their slots, you're probably going to roll your eyes. I swear I didn't cook any number. The Elite Eight, according to this bracket, would be France versus Netherlands, Spain versus the United States, Brazil versus England, and Argentina versus Portugal. That would be your quarterfinals if chalk were to hold based on how things currently are projected to go. Not if the bracket stayed like this, projected results moving forward, Gabe.
There will be some, there'll be some movement along the way, but
no doubt.
Listen, the quarterfinal is going to be epic. And guys, I do believe, and I've said this before, and I said it before the tournament started, I thought the USA was going to, I thought all three host nations would make it to the round of 16. But if you look at the USA's path, it's very favorable compared to like even some of the bigger nations, which we can argue and talk about why it's this way, but that's another story. But as it is now, you're right, Kevin, it would be Germany and Scotland right now, and France and Sweden. So the winner of Germany and Scotland and France and Sweden would play each other. So then, boom, you'd have Germany and France playing each other in the round of 16. South Korea versus Switzerland, Netherlands versus Morocco. That's sort of the weird one right there. I got to be honest with you. You know what? The Netherlands do look pretty good, don't they?
I was super impressed.
But I'm not dismissing Morocco, bro. Morocco are tough to beat. Like their goalie, their pedigree, they're tough to beat. Netherlands have fallen short before. That's a hell of a 32 game that I don't think will end up standing. Actually, actually it will, because Morocco aren't going to win the group if Brazil wins the group.
I think Morocco are a little more live to win that group than the bookmakers are giving them credit, but they're seemingly pretty sure Morocco can't. Like, you're telling me that if Morocco put all their eggs in the
differential now,
they can't beat 84-0.
Right? That's the thing. You're right.
But I guess Brazil are supposed to beat Scotland better than 1-0, right? Is kind of the idea. That's what you're right.
There's a lot of Brazilians here, and I was speaking with one of them, and he wasn't happy. I was like, "Yeah," I said, "Good start." He got the draw and a 3-0 win, and he's like, "Nah, not really." He goes, "We got no coach," and he had a good point actually. And this guy's like Brazilian. He's just like a Brazilian fan. Like he's actually, and he basically said, "No cohesion in the midfield." He said, "We're good at the back end, we're good at the front end, but our midfield is like lost." He said it causes a problem because they can't get the ball. He basically said, "We're not getting the ball. The fluidity sucks, but we're getting away with it against inferior opponents." But to me, I watch them, Kevin. I mean, they look really good defensively to me, Brazil. Like I think
that's
tight.
Been undersold. I agree.
Yeah, like they're tight. They're hard to score on, Brazil. Just point blank. Like this ain't like the old Brazil. Like they're like the old Brazil won on offense. Like now, like they don't give up goals. And they can still finish, though. Like I said, I think people are being a little hard on them. I think they're still legitimate threats, in my opinion. To me, I think they can go far.
I agree with you. I really do. And again, the bracket is kind of set up nicely for them to make it out of that, Sweet 16. One of the most anticipated matchups, Gabe, of the – and here's what I will agree with you that's just really unfair. The U.S. are going to play in the U.S., Mexico are going to get to play multiple games in Mexico, assuming that they win. And Canada are in a tough spot. Like, now maybe they will. Then again, it's just They
Can I
could have
throw
put a
something
net
at you,
in their
too?
game if they didn't win their group, I feel like, to me. But if they
But
win the
can
group,
I
they're
throw-
set up in their Vancouver for 2 games.
I know, but that's what I was going to say. So why is it though that so Canada needs to win the group to stay in Canada. Mexico needed to win the group to stay in Mexico. USA could have finished in third and would have stayed in the U.S. Like, why is that? Like, how is that? Why is that?
There's clearly a gap in sites.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh and Gabriel Morency with you for France versus Iraq. France 1, Iraq 0. Live right now, the total in this match is actually down to 2.5. Minus 140 to the over. The idea is, will France get 2, 3, 4? That was kind of the idea coming into this match. To talk more about this and the rest that is available here on this match day is Chris Vasile. You can catch his work over at Covers. Does an excellent job so far following this tournament here, Chris. Let's just start with what we've seen in the first 45 plus here from France. Concerning or frustrating?
I would say more frustrating. I think they kind of look disinterested a little bit at times. Obviously, the late, downpour of rain didn't help kind of their cause and the way they like to play their style of play, which is kind of up tempo. But I think, Mbappe, a little bit lackadaisical and obviously a great goal. But yeah, some of their star players like Dembele and Olise just kind of have been on the fringes of this game. So definitely a little bit frustrating for the first 45 for them.
I think, though, for them or for you, that's the clear. Like that, there's a big difference.
For both, I think.
Like, do you think they're frustrated right now in the room? I don't. Right? It's almost like they're very Dodger-like in the sense that if the Dodgers don't win on the run line, Kevin, they sucked. Oh, they didn't even cover. They don't believe that. They only won the game.
I think it's a good take, especially if I bet them on the run line.
Well, yeah, good teams win, great teams cover, as we all know. No, and I hear what you're saying, Chris, but people said the exact same thing after the first half. So what I'm telling you is don't be Alexi Lawless or Landon Donovan and say, oh, France are arrogant and they were disinterested. And then they cruise after. Because what does Latin say? Overconfidence or arrogance, actually confidence. But I hear what you're saying. The rain sort of kicked in here, but me and Kevin, we didn't think this was some sort of rout. I was thinking 3-0 type thing, maybe with a late goal 4. That 2.5 now, Kevin, I wouldn't be betting the under. I wouldn't be surprised if France buried 2 here in the second half.
What do you see, Chris?
Yeah, so I agree with your takes. I just think that, you got to look at kind of Switzerland versus Qatar in the first game. Switzerland are now in a position where they can't win the group. If somehow miraculously this Iraq team finds a goal and just pulls a rabbit out of their hat, France are kind of licking their chops at, all the misses or kind of the just lackadaisical approach to this game. Obviously, like you said, off air, a marathon, not a sprint. They just kind of want to get through and get deep into the tournament healthy and have their guys all happy and stuff. But you got to take your chances because, teams can come back and bite you in the ass at the end of the games there.
So, Chris, just taking a look ahead at the second match from this group today, which is Norway and Senegal. Norway, really fascinating team to me because of all the teams. When I say they're public, I just mean more casuals are familiar with Norway than you would expect because Holland is obviously a superstar, right? And it sets them up here against Senegal as favorites. I'm not saying they don't deserve to be, but it does consistently lead to me being cautious heading into their games. How do you see this one playing out or some value in the match?
Yeah, so for this game, so Norway, obviously, like I said, more known for the casuals. I follow this team very closely. They were in the groups with Italy in the World Cup qualifying, so very familiar with their style of play, their up-tempo style of play. I think this game is close. I think a draw could be in play here. I think Senegal kind of didn't have their best against France. Obviously, it's tough to beat France in a 90-minute match, but I think this is the game they kind of had circled where they can pick up all 3 points. I do see this game being a little bit higher scoring. If you look at kind of some of the stats, Norway scores plenty of goals. 13 of their last 14 games have gone over 2.5 goals. So they're just kind of one of those teams I'd love to push the pace. Senegal has some good attacking pieces, so I can see both teams, trading chances and giving us some goals in this contest.
Hard to disagree. Senegal do give up a lot of goals, right? I mean, this has been a problem for them. They're a fun team to watch. They are talented. They lose 3-1 to France. USA put 3 up on them in the friendly as well leading into this. So what are you going to bet in this game? Listen, Kevin brought it up earlier with the captain chalk square parlay of the day with all these goal scorers, right? Messi, Mbappe, now Erling Haaland coming in. Erling Haaland scored the first goal of the game. I hope that he does, but if Norway scores, he's scoring, Chris. You don't want to simplify it, but he's going to score.
Yeah, 100%. Like we had him 3+ shots at plus money in the first game. We cashed that. Now he's 2+ shots. I got him at -120. He's up to -150 now. Like you said, if Haaland's going to be involved, if Norway's going to score, Haaland's going to be involved. He could very easily score 2 goals on 2 attempts, and everybody goes home happy. He's obviously the focal point of their attack, and the way Senegal kind of struggled at times with Mbappe's movement and Elise picking up passes. I think Norway's kind of not quite on that level, but they do have some good pieces, and Haaland's movement is excellent. Playing him a couple of shots on target is definitely a good look if you're kind of looking to avoid that goal scoring market.
Just quickly, an update for everybody, and we're going to continue to follow this match live, but there is a weather delay, as we were warning could be the case in France versus Iraq. So it looks like we've got another 15 minutes of waiting, and we'll see how long that gets.
Good job, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Great job, Philly.
He did it to
of
themselves.
All places, Kevin. Good job.
Yep.
Good job, buddy.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. Chris, I wanted to ask you though, just quickly, entering into this tournament, how are you positioned futures-wise, and kind of what's the temperature check then on those numbers, and if you're looking at anybody now?
Yeah, so futures-wise, we have an Argentina ticket outright for them to defend their title. I'm very happy with kind of the way they're going about their business. 2 professional style of wins. They didn't really wow too many times outside of Messi's brilliance. And in the Golden Boot market, we're looking at Harry Kane. Right now, we have that ticket still live. Honestly, this has turned into a heavyweight title fight over the last 4 games for these players. Mbappe's delivering, Messi, Kane, bouncing back. Haaland's got 2 goals. I do like my position still on Harry Kane. Obviously, we're behind the 8 ball here with Messi just kind of going, the all-time GOAT mode, essentially. But yeah, Kane for the Golden Boot, I still like my chances there. He's got two, very easier games than he had against Croatia with Ghana and Panama coming on deck. And yeah, Argentina to win outright. I still love that ticket. So we're going to hold our positions for now.
We love you, Chris, but I didn't hear the name Jonathan David in there at 33-1. Why don't you put another hat trick on the board against the Swiss on Wednesday?
I hope so.
Hey, two quick questions on the way out here. What do you think about tonight with Algeria and Jordan? Big game for the Algerians, obviously. And there's a chance it could be Algeria if Canada wins the group, depending on, they could be that third-place team potentially, Chris, that would play Canada in a round of 32. So what do you think of this game, Jordan, Algeria, and what's your initial take for Canada and Switzerland, man? Canada just need a draw to win the group.
Yeah, so Algeria, Jordan, you'd have to give the favoritism to Algeria. They're minus about 200 right now. Jordan didn't really impress too much in their first game against Austria. Algeria, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt there against Argentina and Messi. So Algeria, I'll give the nod there on the money line. And Canada, Switzerland, this is going to be a tough test for the Canadians. The toughest test of the group. Obviously, Switzerland have a lot of talent up front. They can score goals, they can create chances. I think we're going to see a little bit of a higher scoring game than people realize. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get at least 3 goals in that game. So I'd be playing the over there.
Quickly as well, Chris, just because it's also been a big point. I'm sure you've heard it quite a bit. So we'll get another non-American's take on it. What have you made of the U.S. So far within this tournament?
Yeah, they've been solid. 2 very good performances thus far. I was higher on them than most coming into the tournament. Quarterfinals, like you guys were talking about, the bracket kind of shaping out in their favor. Quarterfinals is definitely on the table. But yeah, they've been impressive through the first 2 games.
Yeah, listen, excited. I thought maybe, I don't know if it was a Canada thing. Gabe has decided they play in the worst group in the entire tournament out of nowhere, just like this. Gabe has decided after telling people that Turkey were going to win the group.
Australia? Turkey? Yeah. They're terrible.
Chris Vasile, check his work out over at Covers. Excellent, man. We'll be right back here. It's In Game Live on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latin Nation Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back in the right here. It is SportsGrid. It is in-game live. There is no game live right now. And I got to say, I'm happy about it because it gives me the opportunity. Listen, I understand it's World Cup coverage, but, we kind of follow everything. And if you are a follower of @SportsRage, he was pulled away from the World Cup for a moment because the Michigan Wolverines have built a new tradition. Win a title, lose your coach. Kind of a weird tradition they've got going on, Gabe. Dusty May to the Dallas Mavericks. How do you feel about it?
You're exactly right. For people that have that follow me online and been watching our shows, I've been I might as well just be a soccer host. I mean, I'm not really with the exception of the CFL, of course, right? So I find, I find time for my CFL football still, but for the most part. But yeah, this is the first thing that got me going this morning, Kevin. Was like, oh God, what? And Dusty May gone. Couple of thoughts. Just quick on this. So once again, I just want to throw this out here quickly, even though we got a little time now. Imagine, Kevin, these tickets weren't cheap tonight for France, bro.
No.
Man, your World Cup dream, you go to a World Cup, you pay like $3,000, $2,000, you know what I mean? And you got to deal with this weather. You're seeing on TV all these great locations and beautiful scenes. You're in Philly, and of course it's got to rain on you. Number two, what's going on in Jersey? Because this is where Norway's playing tonight.
Yep.
Just for the record. So something
if
to
you're
think about,
asking
guys.
me, it's gonna pour, is what I've been told. I can double check
Really?
that.
So that's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. I kind of forgot for a second I live in Jersey. I thought it was a rhetorical.
When I said, what's going on in Jersey?
Yeah. I was like, good point. What is going on in Jersey? And then I realized, let me open my window. Hold on a minute.
What's going on in Jersey? Yeah. No, that's why I wanted to throw it out there just for the Dusty May. Because I'm like, damn, Norway's playing at MetLife tonight.
Let me get the MetLife weather just in case.
You know what I mean? One thing I do know, Kevin, is Philadelphia and New Jersey are not far apart from each other.
Good point. So, flood watch.
Yeah,
uh-oh.
Yeah, so if it's lightning delay and raining hard in Philadelphia, then what's it going to be like at MetLife? Probably the same. So I'm just throwing out that out there for Norway. As far as Michigan is concerned, wow. Don't like the timing of it. Doesn't surprise me. Last year at the time when people were talking about North Carolina this and that and blah, 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 I was like, he's not leaving for another college. He'll leave for an NBA team. I guess Cooper Flagg was just too good to pass up that opportunity. You're in the same division with Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. You're going to have to take this on right now, but you've got talent with the Dallas Mavericks. You've got a great boss in Masai Ujiri here. So I understand his perspective of it. He's already won a championship in college. Why you're not going to get any bigger? This is your time. And also, if he fizzles out in the NBA, every big-time college team will roll up the red carpet for him. And he can go back to college and cash in and make even more money after. So he really has nothing to lose. Then we get into the question, Kevin, is can he be successful? I think the only time this guy has ever seen an NBA game in his life, let alone coached in one, is when they won the championship and they went to the Pistons game the night after. He's never, you know what I mean, Kevin? A lot of coaches,
he's not,
no, he was an assistant there before he was there. Well, he bounced around college. And Kevin, this guy, no NBA experience. None. So he's going to walk in an NBA room and tell Kyrie Irving how it rolls. You know what I mean? There's certain players that this isn't gonna work with. And I'll throw it to you. I'll ask you your opinion from a basketball perspective. Is he that good of a coach? It's different. The NBA is different, right? Michigan had talent. He did a good job coaching the college game. The NBA is not the college game. And there's been very few, almost none, that have been good at both. One guy. There's only one guy in the history of basketball that has won a title as a head coach in both NCAA and the NBA. Larry Brown. Larry Brown won with Kansas, Danny Manning, and he won with the Pistons. I think Dusty May is chasing greatness. That's what he wants to do. In the same way Harbaugh. We all knew if Harbaugh, Kevin, I knew Harbaugh was going to leave for the NFL, but it was he won't do it until he wins a title. And I was bang on. The second he won a title, bro, he left after the parade. Like, he was like, see, I'm done. I did what I had to do. I gave you the title. Dusty May, you at Michigan, we hired you to win a title. He won the title. I don't blame him now. I just don't like the timing of it, Kevin. But do you think he'll be successful in the NBA?
I'm not so sure. And it's interesting, and I don't blame you for talking about the Mavericks piece of it, but I almost find the Mavericks piece of it the less interesting piece. Like, I know that that's what a lot of people are focused on today, Cooper Flagg, but let's be honest, how successful Dusty May is probably depends on how good Cooper Flagg is and how the people that they put around Cooper Flagg. In college, you probably have more of a control on it. I've often said, I think these college jobs are better than NBA jobs. So the decision, I understand, and you're right, he has a parachute. If it goes wrong, he just goes back to college, no problem. But I'm not sure he goes back to he was set at Michigan. He was absolutely set up, and that's why I'm fascinated by it. You know it, Gabe.
So
we
was
talked
Harbaugh,
about
though.
it.
They would have built a statue of Harbaugh if he stayed.
Right, but Harbaugh is a little bit older in his career. We know that. And Harbaugh, the NFL dream, we knew a little bit more than the Dusty May stuff, right?
Harbaugh actually played in the NFL. Right?
Yes.
Dusty May didn't play in the NBA.
Right.
Harbaugh actually coached in the NFL and was 3 yards away from winning a Super Bowl.
Yes, and was at Michigan for a little bit, like before the Dusty May was there for 2 years. And Michigan were set up to be one of the new powers of college basketball. And I'm not saying the sky is falling, but things change quickly. And they now are in a weird spot, as you said. There's a 15-day portal that only Michigan players can enter. It's not like they reactivated all of college basketball. All that can happen for Michigan is they lose guys, not gain guys. That's scary. That's really scary.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
I guarantee you they will lose at least one person. It's just
one. Yeah, but like as far as like high impact though, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I like the hire of Mike Boynton. I like the hire.
We'll be right back on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latin Nation Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live, we're back at you right here on SportsGrid. I got to tell you, France-Iraq is now in complete I have no idea mode for me. I don't know. Because this is not normal. Gabe, please correct me if I'm wrong. I won't be embarrassed. I'm pretty sure we're not used to 45-minute breaks, though, in the Premier League, in League On. Like, I don't think this is normal for anybody.
No, they don't have weather. That's why they don't play in the summer, though, right? Like, they don't really have. Yeah. So it could be snowing or it could be raining, whatever, and they're going to play through it. But if you think about the lack of flow of this game, 20-minute water break, blah, blah, and then you played another 25 minutes. Now you're going to sit for 45 minutes. This is a disaster for France. Like, just from the flow and the routine and just, like, everything of injury and a wet pitch. Like, you know what I mean? It helps the under, Kevin.
Because I'm worried.
I gotta believe France want to get the hell out of here when this game restarts after. But they got to score another goal. They got to score another goal first.
Question, Gabe. Do you think it's something like in a rain delay, you won't put a pitcher back out there? Do you think they might not put, like, Mbappe, for example, back out there? Like, we can't have you sitting for an hour.
Very fair point. And if you recall, I brought it up before the game. I was watching the pregame analysis, not on Fox, but like on other stuff. And they were talking about, we spoke with Didier Deschamps and sounded like they wanted to get people on the pitch tonight. And that Mbappe wasn't in a 90-minute type of thing. It was about the Golden Boot. They were like, Mbappe could score 3 times, but we don't think he's going to play the whole game tonight. That's sort of the impression they gave. But it is only 1-0. But it's a great point. I don't want this guy, like, starting and restarting and stopping and starting. Like Kevin said, if you're a great pitcher, when there's a long rain delay, he's gone. He's out. They're not going to tell him, you got to re-warm up again. No, I'm done for tonight. Mbappe's not a ballerina. He'll be fine. The question is, how long is this game going to be delayed for? I mean, that's
pretty no end in sight right now. Let's bring Marcelino in here, Gabe.
Okay, they're going to start the 8:00 game, too. They're not going to stop. The rest of the world goes on. So we might have 2 games going on at once, Marcelino. Yeah. This is the problem, Marcelino. Don't put anything big in Philadelphia. They're a bunch of psychos down there, and they got bad weather.
This is what we were expecting of, the reality of playing in such a big country like the United States. At some point, we will face the difficult situations that MLS has been dealing with for a long time. MLB, you name it. Anyone that plays outdoors in the United States at some point have experienced weather delays. But in a World Cup, when you have so many things choreographed to the dot, this is a disaster. You're going to have 2 games that are going to maybe even overlap one over the other. You're going to have, like you guys were saying, players that are not used to this treatment, that are not going to risk for injuries, especially France that has everything to advance. Why would you just put your players, in that situation? Now, they cannot control this, but the reality is that the tournament will now start facing critiques at many different levels, with this one being one of them, because also they could have just allowed a little bit longer, let that first half finish, and everybody would have ended up with a little bit a sense of completion, right? Now, not even the first half is finished. You have Mbappe 1-0, and everybody was hoping to see that classic rivalry between Mbappe and Messi for the goal, for the Golden Boot. But now we have to wait at least an hour.
Marcelino, I see the 3 stars. Do you think that Messi being the only one who can score for Argentina is any type of concern, or this team's just flying high?
This team is flying high, but at some point it will be of concern. Now, let's put some things into perspective. Messi is almost 39 years old. He cannot sustain 7 or 8 games being the only person that the ball goes to, the only one that does that final run. We have to see Lautaro, but also something that is very, very intelligent. They are saving Julian Alvarez so much. Julian Alvarez has seen no minutes in this World Cup because he is the one that will give Messi that little of a breather when it's needed. To begin with, Argentina needs to be convincing, and they need to advance. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Messi resting the next game and see Julian Alvarez come to the forward.
Wow.
Now, Lautaro has to score. Lautaro has to be that player that is different. That Lautaro needs to be the other one, because if they only have one trick pony, it doesn't matter that the pony is Messi. They're gonna get figured out.
It's a great point, Marcelino.
Oh, we're already done. Huh? What's a bigger surprise, Marcelino? We're already done. We got a couple more minutes on the other side.
We'll bring him back if he's got a couple minutes. We'll bring him right back. We'll bring him right back on SportsGrid.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, in-game live back here on SportsGrid. Marcelino Ortiz joining us. I got to tell you, Marcelino and Gabe were talking a little bit about the Ecuador struggles. You want to talk about a team I'm happy to slander and make fun of. Oh, it's all cute when you think, hey, don't worry, we'll win every game 1-0, and then you look up and you haven't scored yet in the tournament. That was great. And I didn't bet any futures or anything on this team, and I know they had a bunch of shots on target, but that was a little deceiving. Only a few of them were actually good chances. But, Gabe, I'll pass it to you because I know you wanted to kind of frame the question appropriately.
Well, they deserve better, I think, than Uruguay. And I was going to ask Marcelino, what was a bigger surprise to him, Uruguay or Ecuador not qualifying? And it's not official yet, but, if this comes to pass. But I think that Ecuador sort of deserved better. Like, Uruguay really brought no imagination, nothing to the table, really just bad football, in my opinion. But what's the bigger surprise to you, Marcelino, or the biggest disappointment, Uruguay or Ecuador?
Without a doubt, Ecuador, my friends. Ecuador was, heralded to be the next South American superpower. They finished second in the qualifiers. They defeated Colombia. They defeated Argentina. They defeated Brazil. Everything was flying high, and then they show up to this World Cup and they are flat. They do not have that killer instinct up front that is needed in a World Cup game. Now they are facing being grouped, and they have a do-or-die game against the Mannschaft, against Germany. I would never, ever wish to my worst opponent to have to figure out your qualification to the next round against Germany, because that's for me, is just.
But Germany have won the group, right? So Germany have won the group. That's the benefit.
That is the benefit. They will probably put some bench players for that game, but even then, my friend, I don't think Ecuador has what it takes. They didn't build up enough game to just imagine to match the speed, the technical quality, the organizational level that Germany has. Ecuador is a team that is struggling. It's a team that is just reaching for whatever Ener can do Ener Valencia can do up top. And I don't see. I think that they're both going to get group. I think Uruguay and Ecuador. And I'm happy to see that there's finally a shift on the football geography in the Americas. We see CONCACAF being the high conference in the tournament. CONCACAF teams are outdoing CONMEBOL in every
Best player in the world plays
group.
in MLS. Best player in the world plays in MLS. Best league in the world. Best players play in the best league, MLS.
Yes. You know me, I'm LAFC fan from day one, so I'm a big fan of MLS, and I'm happy to see that we finally...
Get Walsh off the screen. Get Walsh off the screen.
No, but the reality is that thank you to the United States national team for showing face, just like Mexico, just like Canada. It started shaky, but that 5-0 put them back in the conversation.
6-0.
6-0, that's right. So I feel like it's a great changing of the tides. It's the moment that people see that is not all Brazil, that is not all Argentina, it's not Ecuador. Colombia, I'm going to put them in a different bucket because for me, Colombia, from all of the South American teams, is the only one that is upholding that tradition of high-level creative football that not even Argentina. Argentina has been very, very keen, very intelligent, giving up the ball, managing the games, absorbing pressure, but I haven't seen anything creative. I haven't seen, other than Messi, I haven't seen a team that really puts football forward. I see other teams really, really like, for me, on the other side, we see the Europeans. The Netherlands. The Netherlands are firing on all cylinders, and I'm very excited to see Norway because I feel Norway is also a very important dark horse that little by little they're gaining in confidence. Now, Spain, we see the odds. I love the odds because although I'm favoring Norway to win it outright, the reality is that Senegal is a tough team that at any moment can flip this script, and you will be making a lot of money. Pretty much doubling your investment right there if the Senegalese actually can stop Haaland. But to be honest, that it is a very unlikely outcome. Haaland will score.
That's a big if, yeah.
You know, that's a big if. And now I think that everything goes to Haaland and Messi fighting for that Golden Boot award. Maybe Mbappe, but today I think he was robbed of the rhythm that he was building, and I don't know how much is going to left. I think this game is going to end up 1-0.
I just wanted to, and I actually was going to bring this up the other day, and I didn't. But the MLS Twitter account has made me laugh every single time Argentina play because they act like it's a Team Argentina account. They tweet out the Argentina starting 11. They tweet out, look at our duo, and it's Messi. Like, what? But I kind of respect it in a way. They're like, yep, like this is us. We are MLS, Messi League Soccer. Like, welcome to the show, baby.
And look how good he is, Kevin. He's only won one championship. Hey, Marcelino, you see, he doesn't come in MLS and just dominate.
I mean, you gotta make the most out of your investment. You gotta squeeze that juice for as much as you can, my friend.
Yeah, he's making $26 million a year in MLS, Kevin. They got to squeeze exactly. They got to.
You guys,
did the La Liga account tweet out when Yamal scored? I'm just asking.
No, they gave us a little love for Canada and the U.S. MLS is on it. We'll give them credit for all their players that they're giving some love.
Yeah.
But is this a story of Mexico, Marcelina? Because it is in the betting world, and people that actually care about football care about the actual, like they don't like the water break. We saw, the LCA yesterday, dude. How can they add 3 minutes of added time, Marcelino, when there's a 3-minute hydration break and they don't stop the clock? I guess we're not doing added time in this World Cup, huh? Because this is ridiculous. Like, are football purists sickened by this? Like, are people bitching about this in Mexico?
Without a doubt, I think like not only the purists, but everyone here feels that they're just trying to force this to benefit and to fit into the American broadcast structure of quarters, allowing people to have more commercial mentions, commercial breaks. I mean, we have the story of the story of two tales. On one end, we have Telemundo that decided to do the right thing and just be discreet, let the action on the field work. And on the other side, we have Fox that have been heavily criticized for missing the restart of the first two games, to the point that they now have a rep right next to the fourth official with an iPad. So the fourth official can see when the commercial break ends so he can signal the ref to restart the game. That's how backwards this organization is right now for the World Cup. Now, I hope this does not stick and other leagues try to add these commercial breaks, these hydration breaks, because that will be just disrupting the flow of play. There's a lot of data out there, which is very interesting, that the control of the game switches completely to the opposite team right after the hydration breaks, which it shouldn't be. If your team cannot handle 45 minutes of high-level football, then you need to get them to the training pitch. You need to get them to work, because these are players that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. For them to have to take a break after 22 minutes, not even in club, in youth sports.
And they don't even want to break the players.
At 30 minutes, even at the under 14, 30 minutes of play uninterrupted. And you're telling me that these professionals cannot handle 25 minutes? None of the cities that we've played so far have had harsh conditions. You know, maybe the weekend games in LA, but LA was nice and toasty this weekend. So let me tell you, there was no need for hydration breaks. If we can do it on the Sunday League, these guys can do it on the World Cup.
On the Sunday League. Now that's what I'm talking. I will say, man, if I tune into a Premier League game in December and there's a hydration break, I think I'm going to pass out. If it's 18 degrees out in Villa, West Ham, I don't even know if West Ham stayed up this year, but I'm just saying that would be something, man. Listen, it's Marcelino. We appreciate you making some time here for us. I'm sorry there wasn't anything going on in the background of it, though. I don't know if this game will ever be back. Honestly,
Algeria or Jordan tonight? Algeria, Jordan. You like Algeria?
I like. You know what? I like Algeria, and I'm telling you, there's one player that I really like, Zidane's son. Zidane is a goalkeeper that didn't have a good first match, but he's the Algerian goalkeeper, but he is really, really good. So there might be a 0 on goal from him because his dad stays very close to him, and he's going to give you all of that World Cup winning experience. So, yeah, Algeria's for the win on that one.
All right, guys. We'll be right back on SportsGrid. Thanks.
Are you ready for el verano más futbolero de tu vida? Latination Football Club turns into Copa Nation, our live stream experience every day, de lunes a viernes, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Pacific as well. Checking in after the games. In that slot between games, we got you, my friend. We're going to have celebrities, legends of the game, content creators, and a bunch of our friends that are going to keep you entertained and informed, letting you know what's happening all across the 3 countries that are going to be experiencing this crazy, crazy football tournament. Don't miss it. Copa Nation right here on Latin Nation every day. Check it out.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Their pitching has been really good in their bullpen too. So Chris Getz, their general manager, credit to him. This guy was getting pounded a couple of years ago for decisions and everything like that, but man, it is seemingly working out. The fans, by the way, all of a sudden are pouring in there. Their attendance is on the rise too. So a great sign that the White Sox are in this thing. Now, long term, I don't know. Like, is this a postseason team? Is it a deep postseason team?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Back with you guys right here on SportsGrid. And behind the scenes, listen, understandably, the guys are doing a great job. They're like, hey, we got baseball game boards if you want. And I couldn't help but laugh because the other day I had someone reach out to me and said, hey, do me a favor. Can you just handicap the rest of the baseball board? Just I'm looking to throw some parlays together. Just take a look for me. I said, okay, fine. Right. And I gave him 3 picks. And they all won like quite easily. And that really bothered me because I didn't bet any of them. And I'm like, I know that means whenever I eventually get back to betting baseball, I'm going to get destroyed that first day. No doubt in my mind, Gabe.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you would have won if you would have bet them, maybe you wouldn't have taken them.
Things could have gone a lot different.
So it's one of those, you kind of, someone asked you, but then you're like, yeah, I should have been riding this all along. Baseball's not an easy sport to handicap just casually, right? Like, to me, like baseball, some other sports, that's what makes NFL football so popular. People can casually handicap it. It's once a week. Well, now it's, whatever. But, right, people know the teams. They don't have to study it every day, right? Baseball, you can't just bet baseball by looking at a screen. You just can't. Like, you need to know what happened in the last 2 days. Yeah, what about the bullpen? What about this? What about that? Like, there's so much that goes into it. You can't really just jump in. I've always compared baseball betting, Kevin, to like if you like watch a soap opera every day and you've missed 3 weeks of Bold and the Beautiful. You're in a lot of trouble after. Right? You're like, I don't know, I kind of know what's going on, but I didn't know they broke up. And not really. Hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, so you got to get caught up on things, sort of, so to speak. And for me, people are like, oh, there's no soccer right now. Dude, my mind's spinning a million miles an hour about this. Well, how do we approach this second half? What are the Norway game?
So
they're not going to wait for the Norway game. So we're gonna have overlapping games tonight for the first time. Which let me just throw out there, we're a couple of days away, guys. From when does that start? Wednesday. We're gonna have 2 games at a time on at the same time all the time now. Because of they don't want people making unethical deals. Hey, listen, wink, wink, let's just both get the draw here. So everyone's going to be playing at the same time in each group, so there's no shenanigans going on. So it'll be cool for us. We'll actually have 2 games going on at a time, like starting on Wednesday. Starting Wednesday.
Do you think,
Thursday,
Gabe?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Do you think that there is going to be some value in betting against just flatly like this team needs this? How do we not bet the draw kind of thing? Like, I don't want to make it about Canada because that's the first instance we'll see. Kind of like,
what about Turkey and the USA? Let's throw this one at you.
That's another one.
To me,
the inverse.
I think Turkey are very live here, guys. You have the U.S. who really smartly need to sort of think about the big picture, right? Pulisic's not going to play. Anyone with yellow card situation, you sort of, right? You don't want to like sort of go into a shell, but at the same point in time, you've earned this right. You've earned the right to get fit for the knockout game.
I'll say, Gabe, I'm surprised the U.S. are favorites. I don't actually understand the number.
It's the fact that Turkey are 0-2. But you know this, Kevin. You saw the fallout in Turkey. They were mad. This team can salvage something by saying, like, and another thing is, too, like, teams really, like, it pissed Australia off losing to the USA, and they're not even good at soccer. Like, it'll make people in Turkey sick to lose to the USA. Like, if you're on the Turkish team, we come back, at least we didn't lose to the U.S. Like, that'll be their attitude. Like, they got to show something here on the way out. And if I'm the U.S., I really don't care. Like, but you don't want to lose that momentum either, do you, Kevin? Right?
But the problem is, Gabe, here's why.
Play.
We all know that the U.S. are not going to send out anywhere near their best lineup.
Yeah, like Freeman's another one. Like, when you going to risk Freeman, what if he pulls a hamstring? Like, you
it's
can't.
It's not just Pulisic, guys. It's everybody on a yellow card. And we're not that good that we can send out a backup 11 and beat a team that were even with us coming into the tournament. I'm not saying it's impossible, but
and in a super bad mood, like, they need a win.
Like, guys, just to be clear, it's the equivalent of a Week 18 NFL game. Like, that's what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's what this is. You know, like, I know we're supposed to be on for all 2 hours of that game, but there is a part of me that's like, for what? Like, we'll be here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure.
It could be frustrating because what do? We bet on the U.S. How do you know? Whatever. The U.S. doesn't need the game, so it's like, all right, we got to bet on the U.S. because they're too. You know, they're not going to play people. Turkey actually are good. The ball's just not going in. People in Turkey want to kill these guys on the team to begin with. They know that, like, we can't go 0-3. Like, they need to salvage a win out of this and have some pride for their country and their fans. But at the same point in time, it's hard to trust Turkey. The ball, they've taken 62 shots. The ball hasn't gone in for them. It's unbelievable. They've taken 62 shots, guys, in the tournament, and the ball just won't go in.
What's the total? Is it going to be juice to the under? If this team... No, it's not. It's juice to the over. I don't know.
I'll say the over.
Yeah. They got the U.S. They've got the U.S. scoring 100 goals in this game. I don't understand it. I feel like I'm
team in the world. They're the greatest team in the world. Like, that's why they've caught on. But what a tough game to handicap. Like I said, all right, you got it's crazy. Turkey plus 240. Like, how the hell do you not take it?
I think you just take the double chance, don't you? Minus 110, minus 120.
It's still coming down hard, bro. I'm looking right now.
Not rain, like, in a way. I feel like it's the thunder.
People, severe thunderstorm, lightning, halftime weather.
Where's this guy?
I never get this. I never understand this though, Kevin. So you have a thunder delay and a lightning delay, but you let people sit in the stands during it. Then what's the effing point? There's a bunch of people. Some people are sitting there. I don't know. It seems like some people are sort of like they're showing the radar here coming in, but guys, this might be so long of a delay that this game, that the Norway game, might start before this game.
Yeah, honestly, it's. By the way, there's no way Mbappe's getting back out there. I think there's no way.
Believe that. Thank God he scored. Thank God he scored. Oh boy. Good boy. Oh boy.
Good boy. All right, guys, quick break right here on SportsGrid. right, guys. So we're back with you right here on SportsGrid. I just want to say this: the bet that I am considering for France Iraq, and it's a very tricky game because of this delay. So at least I was considering before all of this was France's shots on target number. Gabe knows I usually prefer the shots. Like, I don't care. Sky it into outer space. Who cares? But I did that with France in the win against Senegal and won on the number. 11 shots, 8 were on target. Yeah, it turns out if France are going to shoot it, they're aiming for the net, right? Because they're such a good team. I'm seeing, Gabe, and I don't know if you have this, 5 shots at minus 165 on target. 6 shots on target plus 135. It's kind of me trying to like cutely middle the total, if you will.
You know, I was just busting Chris's balls a bit when he said, terrible first half for France, because he did tell us, but right before, I bet France minus 1.5 in the first half. So like he was mad about like them not being up to nothing. But with that being stated, as you're just talking about the shots, France have 1 shot on target. Like, really? You got to be kidding me for France. Like, that's unheard of. Like, so France's prop right now, shots on target, over under 4.5, as you mentioned. Iraq don't have a shot on target. Will they get a shot on goal in this game? Probably, some long ball or something. So I would say over for both. Because even with the bad weather, I do think, and I don't think it's like France or like Didier Deschamps not yelling at everyone in the room or anything like that, right? They paced themselves, right? Last week, everybody was flipping out in the first half too, and by the end of the game, they were amazing, right? Oh, they're unstoppable. It's 90 minutes soccer, guys. People like have us sort of get impatient and want teams to blow teams out early. So I still feel comfortable of France finishing this off 2-3-0. That's why I'm not running to the window here to bet the under. Let me just throw it out there. A soccer game needs bets would be void for the record. Like, it's not like, you get paid for this or that. If your bet is already settled, you know what I mean? The Mbappe goal is paid, whatever, but like that's already happened. But they have to play this game. I mean, they'll wait until 2 a.m. if they have to. Like, this isn't baseball. They're not rescheduling a World Cup game. Like, we're playing this game at some point tonight.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to make this point. I'm curious if you think I'm right here. The under 1.5 plus 460, I actually thought that would be bigger. Like, you're telling me in a game with France against Iraq, it's only minus 700 for 1 more goal? No, like, Gabe, I don't think France, it's going to go under 1.5. No, that's but don't you think that minus 700 for a team that's minus 5,000 to win the game, they're not going to score again? Like, I get minus 700 is a big. I just thought it'd be minus 1,000. I don't know.
What are they on the point spread right now? If they win by 3, you're getting them at plus 105 right now. So they're basically minus 1.5 is minus plus 105 right now. So, like, you put in context, the sportsbook is expecting France to score a couple of more times here, at least once.
Yeah. 2-0. It's funny, listen, Gabe. As France to win 2-0 is plus 240. Sorry, but like,
what are you going to do in Norway?
Short. I like the over, but I don't know what to do with this weather.
At 8, but
I like the over, but I haven't bet it yet, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do if with these weather delays. I'm not like,
you guys are the ones in Jersey. That's why I'm asking you what's going on in MetLife. I need a report. It's always raining at MetLife. I've never been there once when it's like a dark cloud over that place, like at all times. I swear to God, Kevin, like I went there every day.
There's not a lot of beautiful days at MetLife.
No, it used to be like it'd be sunny, like even like along the way.
There. I can't
even sunny in Secaucus, and then somehow you get to the Meadowlands, and there's like this dark cloud.
By the way,
it's always dark and gray there somehow. Always.
Can I ask you? Do you think that guys on France or Spain? Let's just say, Gabe, the final is Spain versus Argentina, and when they get told that they're playing in New York, do you think they know they're actually playing in New Jersey? Because like they keep trying to say the final is in New York, and it's kind of insane. Like, I cannot believe we still do this.
And a player on those teams will never step foot in New York. They won't even step in the state of New York. Like, they're not going to stay in New York City, like in the chaos and stuff, right? They're going to stay, like, You know what I mean? They'll show up for the game type of thing. Listen, I've had New York Knicks players tell me that. They said the only time I ever see New Yorkers when we play. I live in Westchester.
Yeah.
And they said, like, I don't
they'll
see New
live
York. Yeah.
down the shore, whatever it might be. All right, guys, we'll see when the games are back. We will be back at 8 o'clock with We Think Games, plural.
They'll be games.